Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the Blade 68 playtest preview game. I'm delighted to be back here, finding out what happens when the menacing figures with heavy boots enter, and when we jump out of a airship that's about to crash over Dustfall. But we'll get to that in a second. Real quick, in case you don't know who we are already, let's go around and just say a quick hi. I'm Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. And I'm going to be playing Hollis tonight. Hollis is a veteran of the Dagger Isles occupation, and he is staunchly anti-war and very happy to be amongst these other militants who are also members of DAW, the Dustfall Association Against War. How about you, Mo?
I'm Mo. I am playing Kitty. She, her pronouns for her. They, she, for me. But basically, she just drugged a large tiger. No big deal.
Great.
With some drugs that were in her purse. No big deal. Don't ask where she got them. Don't worry about it. I'm excited to see how that finishes up. Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen. She, her. I'm playing Cross, who is a hound, who is kind of a detective. She's a disgraced journalist who now is part of this group. I think that's all. She is also staring down a drugged tiger and trying to figure out what to do with the people that are very shortly going to enter the room. Tim, over to you.
Hi, I'm Tim Denay, he, him, and I will be GMing all this. And a private eye, right? Former journalist and private eye.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Do you have your dog with you? I forgot to ask that.
I do have a dog.
Do you have your dog with you at the base?
No, I did not bring my dog with me. I'm
not. Probably would in the car, so left
the dog at home for this one.
Right. What's the name of your cherry red autopod?
Scarlet.
Scarlet, yeah.
Yeah.
Scarlet.
And what's the van?
Yeah, what's the van called?
What's the van's name?
What's
the van?
The van.
Cherise. Yeah. And then we've got Kayla and Jag, who are your muscle.
Yeah, and they're waiting in the van, maybe with Duke. Who knows?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, cool. Well, before we cut back to all that, I thought we could do some opening titles, which is a kind of a Blades 68 thing. So the idea with this is kind of picturing like a 60s, 70s, 80s TV show, how the people quintessential shot of the characters doing something and then they look at the camera or not. You know what I mean? Each person gets their little vignette and of them doing some classic thing, like sliding over the bonnet of a car or some other thing that reflects who their character is. So we'll go around and do one each, and in between I'll just we'll have some other shots of things around the city and whatnot. So why don't we start with Sean with Hollis? What's the opening titles of Hollis in this one?
Is this just out of curiosity? Is this the general here is how we know Hollis in general, or is this for this particular episode?
Both. So it doesn't have to be about this episode, but it would be different each episode because it's Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I think we see clips from the last episode where we see Hollis holding on to a cargo net in an airship, and then there's a huge blast, and he's almost thrown out of the airship. And he tries to keep somebody. He's holding on to somebody who is getting pulled, and he just has to let them go, and has this look of I couldn't save you. And then when we pan back, when we pan over, we see the reason why Hollis didn't get tossed out like everyone else did is that his actual he's lost his legs, and his leg blades actually got stuck in the cargo netting, and that's the thing that was that was the thing that held on to him. And so I think it's right. The camera kind of does this weird, because the airship is falling and twisting and pivoting. The camera does this weird over the head 360 thing where it's coming from outside back around him down the hallway into the cargo net, and he disappears for a moment, and then we like see his hand grab a cargo net and pull up into the frame, and then that's when the lower third pops under it as like Hollis, veteran, and that's his,
oh my god, I
that's
love
his
that.
Perfect. And then we see Night Queen Crossing, which is this famous intersection at the heart of Night Market, and it's kind of billboards and neon signs and big crowds of pedestrians and autopods. And right in the center of that, on a tall plinth, is a statue of the Night Queen with her sword raised. How about Cross?
Okay. So the tiger has just kind of slumped down to sleep. Is that what happened?
That's right.
And we're hearing heavy footsteps coming down the hallway. So I think Cross is going to take, a spot alongside the same wall of the door, and is gesturing for Kitty to get behind her, and she's pulling out her fine snub-nosed hand cannon. And is getting ready, and so that's the shot that you kind of
freeze frame,
on is her like aiming and looking really determined as she's trying to hold, like, get Kitty behind her as well. So yeah.
Perfect. Oh, perfect. Even has the photo. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Then we see Vreen Autodrome in Night Market, which is the largest autopod racing stadium in Doskvol, and we just see the bright lights and the roaring engine, screaming crowds, and finally Kitty.
Yeah, so I think if we're going in like chronological from like what that clip left off of, where Kitty was, I think it's it's basically what Kitty's doing at the same time, where she's like, I think she's like petting the cat's ears, and like how you like take a cat's ears and you like kind of like pull them back a little bit, and you like pet them and like hold them, and she's like kissing it on the forehead. Is it like a orange and black, or is it a white tiger?
It's a white tiger.
Oh, and then she kisses on the forehead. You just see lipstick marks like on the forehead of it as it's sleeping, and she's a little scratched, like like I think like a strap of her dress is like ripped off a little bit, and like she's got little claw marks on her shoulders, and she like lifts her head around, and she's like trying to like do like the oh shit that's right like face as she's like starting to scramble up and like get behind Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Perfect. And the final shot is of a gleaming silver rocket ship in an underground hangar with dozens of people in white lab coats working on it. And with that, we can return to the score. Yeah, so to briefly recap, Hollis fell out of this airship that was exploding.
Fell.
Pushed out. Okay, currently falling.
Pushed out.
Yeah, pushed out. With 2 parachutes, which are also in free fall. No one has those. And with this spy agent, secret agent, Bane, who's also falling, who shoved you out. And then over in the Scorpion Syndicate, Leah and White Crown is Cross and Kitty, and we've got the tiger. The tiger put to sleep, and then the sound of people running in the hallway. Cross in place behind the door. I think we kind of closed on Hollis, so I guess we might as well continue with the White Crown crew a bit. So Cross was in place behind the door.
Mm-hmm.
And what's Kitty doing at this point?
I think she was at the point where she's like, petting it, like trying to help it go to sleep and like giving it smooches and all that, as you do to any cat, no matter what size it is. You gotta smooch the kitty. And like, so she's like eventually trying to like get the cat off of her because I think it fell asleep in her lap. So she's like picking up its like massive head and just like gently placing it to the side. And just like it's like trying to sneak over to be behind Cross.
Yeah. At that point, so you heard the running boots. They stop. These are like cool kind of sliding doors that slide rather than push, if you know what I mean.
Oh man, I can't do the thing I had planned then. That's fine.
Well, you hear the door lock. There's like a locking mechanism that triggers. And then you hear a sort of hissing noise and see like a gas being piped into the room. It's quite a large room. There's like the big conversation pit area. There's the big wall of glass and stuff. So it'll take a while before it's a
Okay.
problem. But that is.
Is there any
that's the
other
situation.
doors that like lead out other than that one, or is that the main one, the only in and out?
I think Cross surveyed for this before. I think it was
I
Cross
think so
surveyed for this
too.
and failed. But
Yeah.
I mean, usually you wouldn't roll for something twice. But I kind of feel like the failure with there was that I think the tiger woke up and that kind of distracted you.
Yeah, I didn't see any other ways out.
Mhm.
But
I
given
can
the
look
tiger's now
again.
asleep, I don't mind. I think a second attempt here makes sense.
there's windows, right?
There's a big like wall of like full length glazing
That goes
kind of thing.
down into the water, right? It's like
Yeah.
a cliffside
Yeah.
window. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you talked about exiting, into the freezing cold void sea below, in the crashing waters. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was like, there's no other way out except jumping into the sea, which I don't want to do. But I think I will shoot the window unless the windows are bulletproof.
I mean, you could just shoot it and see.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm going to shoot at the window. When I see the gas coming out, I'm not a fan.
I think Kitty quickly gets down and covers her ears. She doesn't get in the way.
Yeah, loud bang, ears are ringing, but yeah, I don't think you need a roll to hit a window. It just, I mean, probably the whole thing doesn't shatter, right? But it punches a hole through, and yeah, it's not bulletproof.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
A big section kind of breaks out, the freezing wind beyond. So there's like fake blue time during the day, and you get nice weather then. But at night, it's just classic like Blades weather. So it's like freezing and cold and windy. It's currently winter. So yeah, this icy wind comes rushing in.
All right.
It's bad for being cold, but good for not getting gassed.
Yeah.
That's true.
Cool. I'll try a I guess what would it be? A survey again to
Survey makes sense.
or yeah, I'll do a survey to see if I can find anything else this time.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like it's still risky.
Okay.
Just with everything going on. And yeah, standard effect, I would say.
Okay.
Is Kitty helping?
Yeah.
scope out the room?
Yeah, for sure. I think she like does that and like shakes her head and just starts like looking around. Like she's like sees that, realizes where that's going. She's like, absolutely not. And starts looking for another exit.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna
gonna help, yeah.
You're gonna push to help. Okay, I will add a bonus die.
That's one stress, right?
Oh,
There
look at
you
that.
go.
Nice.
Hey.
Now
what is
I'm
cross-
focused. I need to be in danger to be focused.
What does Cross in like perfect survey mode look like? Full professional.
She gets really kind of squinty when she's looking. It helps her look more. And so I think, we would definitely see her eyes dart this way and the camera zooms in on that thing, and her eyes dart that way and the camera zooms in on that, and she's looking at every corner. And also wondering, now that we have this gas coming in and this wind coming in, is the gas being drawn into any particular corners? Like, is there a draft somewhere that maybe she didn't notice before? It's like, ooh, there's a seam in that wall, so that must be a secret door type thing, is what she's looking at.
Oh, that's cool.
I like that.
Yeah, that is cool. And that is exactly what happens. And
Nice.
in the far corner, behind a lovely piece of like 60s indoor plant, it's like a corner. It's got a big pot plant on the ground, but then also like a hanging plant as well. And behind that, there is a seam in the wall painted over, but you find it, and through that seam, the gas is going.
Nice.
You got a full success there. So I think behind the plant, there is just like a button. It's not the world's most secret door. Where you found it.
But secret enough, you wouldn't know it was there unless you were looking for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll run over there and, without even listening or thinking about it any further, just mash that button and kind of like, gesturing or even have like grab Kitty's hand to like drag her with.
Perfect.
I think she's trying to get one more pet in before it gets dragged off.
We can't bring the tiger with.
Now look at the baby.
Not a friend. I wanted it to.
Like, she just like picks up the head and just like points at you. Like,
yeah.
It is very big. When you push the button, there's like a pleasant ding and then a humming noise as though you're waiting for an elevator, which is what's happening. So the doors don't immediately open. Once you shoot out the window, and while all this is going on, you hear voices back in the hallway. It's kind of muffled; you can't hear exactly what they're saying, but it is clear they've kind of realized that you've shot out the window, and their gas plan isn't going to work. So what will happen basically is, as the elevator opens and you pile in, they open the door, and these Scorpion Syndicate goons in the pastel blue jumpsuits are going to pile into the room. And if they see that you're like trying to leave, they'll probably just start shooting you or something. So I feel like, I don't know if it's a group action or what you want to do, but I feel like someone would need to take some action here to basically pile into the elevator safely, whether that's like distracting them or throwing them off as they pile into the room, or maybe it's more about you getting into the elevator quickly, whatever kind of action you feel is appropriate. But does that make sense? That's kind of the situation.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what I have to help out with this.
Yeah,
which isn't much. So
it can be like a prowl action where you run in and like you flank against the inside of the elevator so that they can't get you. Or it could be like a sway action, but like, hey, look over there, and then you know, or it could be a finesse thing of like dropping, like making a noise that like distracts them, you know, like throwing something in a way that distracts them over in one direction. Like there's lots of ways.
I got one. You said sway, and I was like, oh, hold on. What if like one of Kitty's party tricks is like she does like little like small ventriloquism at time from time,
fun.
and so like she's like throwing her voice in a direction up like the other side of the room.
Oh, I love it.
So you're like running into the elevator.
Yeah, you only need a moment, right? So that would be enough. Yeah, I love that.
Oh my god, it's like over there. It's so stupid, but like, I feel like
awesome.
that's where her brain goes at that
What
moment.
is so? I gotta imagine Kitty's just saying the thing that she always says at parties is like part of the trick, because like you just gotta think on her feet. What's like her go-to line? Like she pretend to be a celebrity. Does she do like a celebrity impersonation, or does she like?
I mean, it would probably be like, oh man, and now I gotta think of like some like celebrity sort of like sayings. It's probably like it's Emperor's here, right? Like the Emperor's like the big guy still. Is that right? Happy birthday, Mr. Emperor. Like Marilyn Monroe style.
That's good.
Happy birthday, Mr. Emperor.
Love it.
And so she does that,
that's
but like her voice is like, you know, it shows it though a little bit.
What action are you using?
I think sway as like
Sway.
a deception or a disguise that like throws them off.
Yeah, great, perfect. Is Cross helping?
I don't think I can help with that.
Yeah, fair. Is Kitty pushing herself, or do you want a devil's bargain?
Oh, what's a devil's bargain? I always love hearing them.
What's a devil's bargain? If anyone has any ideas, I kind of feel like I kind of want to do a heat thing, but I don't know how you would get heat here.
True.
I have a really obvious one, but it's I don't think it's what you want. If you stayed and let Cross run, then obviously you would draw more of their attention and Cross would be able to get out of there. But I think this is like you both want to get out. So I don't think that's a really good devil's bargain.
It's not like heat them thinking. It's like more like the negative faction aspect of it. Like we get like more heat with the faction. I don't know if that's already going to happen because of what's going on, but like, I feel like this maybe, like really puts us on their shit list.
Yeah, the sort of almost like the comical part of it kind of humiliates them a bit more, right? Like
they drug their cat.
Yeah,
they got destroyed. They got distracted by ventriloquism. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm happy with that. If you're happy with that, another -1 on Scorpion Syndicate.
Yeah.
Great. What could go wrong?
Yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong. Nothing's gonna go wrong.
I mean, these are your ward bosses
in a room with a lion and or a tiger and try to gas you. I feel like it's fair play.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. Sway risky standard with 1 bonus die.
He'll happily take that. Okay, we got a 5.
Mixed success. Cool. Yeah. I feel like I have to ask. You could drag the tiger into the elevator if you want.
I'm not that strong. There's no way. Kitty is
Heavy.
not strong. Like she took her her whole strength just to lift the head off her lap. Like it was just
that's true. That's fair. Just want to make an option. I feel like it causes more trouble for you down the line than.
As much as it would be nice to have a tiger pet, like Kitty knows better.
Yeah,
she doesn't know much better, but she knows better on this aspect.
Cross wanted to liberate the tiger too, but it's a bigger.
You need a furniture dolly to move it. Like you need something to
drag it by a paw, just like
yeah.
But it does have probably 3 different little kissy marks on it now, on its face.
Yeah.
And it's that bright red lipstick that's hard to get out.
Yeah, you don't want to try and bay the big white tiger. So you throw your voice, they immediately turn around, which buys you the time you need to jump into the elevator, which is very nicely upholstered in blue velvet. This is like a private elevator for a VIP, so it's quite small, but the two of you kind of, you're pushing the closed door button as hard as you can. And the doors do close in time. It was a mixed success. And the thing that happens is as the elevator, there's no buttons. Well, there's the closed door button, but it just goes down. So it's only got one destination. And you feel the elevator going down. And then you hear a kind of wrenching, shriek of metal above you somewhere. And then a loud bang on the roof of the elevator, and the whole thing sways slightly. And it's obvious that they, in the anger, have forced the doors open and jumped down. So you're now in a desperate position. It's the basic consequence, specifically because these goons are still on your tail and they're now on top of the elevator. But the good news is you're out of there, going somewhere. And we'll find out where in a moment. Let's go back to Hollis. So Hollis, you're falling from very high up, the lights of the city far below. You're actually above White Crown where the others are. What do you want to do? Bane, this secret agent spy, is not interested. That's good. Is not interested in. She does not seem to be trying to swim over to the parachutes, if you know what I mean. She doesn't seem to care about the parachutes. She is interested in getting that briefcase that you have in one hand.
Yeah.
And you've got your weapon in the other.
So I really want to know Bane's motivation here, but I don't think this is a great time for us to talk. So I want to also, I feel like you sort of gave me an opening to do this last session and I kind of didn't know what to say. So I want to flash back to when I was walking down the hallway with Bane when I had her at gunpoint. And she had said, who are you with? And I told her who I was with, but we didn't really banter much. And so I want to, my goal here is to find out Bane's motivation, what the situation is. Is that an okay flashback? Does that sound
absolutely? Yeah. I think you had ample opportunity. So
yeah, right. We had this moment of walking in relative safety or relatively minor chaos.
Yeah, I don't think that costs stress really.
What's that?
I don't think there's any stress cost on that. That seems like.
Sounds good. So yeah, I ask her as I'm holding the briefcase in one hand and the light coil handgun in the other, and I just say, what's going on between the Ministry of Division, as I sort of hold up the case with the Ministry of Discovery. What's going on between the Ministry of Discovery? I hold up the case with the emblem on it, and the Scorpion Syndicate that the Palace would kill. That you're willing to kill and maybe die to recover.
Are you thinking of this as an action, or do you just want to?
Yeah, I feel like it's an action of me trying to maybe get facts, but also get a read on her as a person. I'm asking this as a factual question, but I'm also happy if I just find out she's I'm an agent who will do whatever it takes to secure the palace, or if she's she seemed very cavalier about this whole thing. She seemed very no big deal, I'm fine. So yeah, I want to get a read on her as a person and what motivates her, and if possible, what's the significance of these documents.
What action are you thinking?
It feels like a consort or a sway. Not that I can do either one of them very well.
You get XP.
Yeah. I mean, I could try and command, like, I've got a gun to her head, but I don't, that's not the vibe. I'm more like, well, if we're all going to die in a second anyway, you might as well tell me. And that's not particularly commanding. So I think I'm going to go sway because we don't have a particularly shared background. We have a bit of a shared background, but we're certainly not being chummy right now. Cool. So yeah, what's my position?
Mark XP anywhere you want for the 0 dot. Rolling a 0 dot thing. I actually kind of feel like maybe this is just a gather info sort of fortune roll type situation.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, you're just sussing her out, asking a question. We already know how the end of this goes.
But I'm hoping that she would give me some information. All right, I'm going to push myself to get a single die. Actually, wait. I'm going to offer up a devil's bargain. I don't know that this... The first thought is I pause and I wait, and it takes more time, and we add more ticks to the clock of the ship going down. But we kind of already know that we're leaving the ship.
You're out of there.
So that doesn't... If she's interested in me, I would be happy to reveal information about what we're doing as an activist organization. I'd be happy.
I like that. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
you gave your name, but I don't think you said who you're involved with.
So I think I'll even, I'll lead with, we're here to stop war crimes that the Crown keeps perpetrating. We don't have to be enemies. You want the security of the state. Those two things don't have to be in opposition. And then I ask you, why would you do this? So, cool. All right. So I guess I'm not pushing. I'm just going to take that devil's bargain. And you said it's fortune roll?
Yeah, which I think is in the drop down. You can put fortune.
It is, yeah. Fortune roll. 1 die for the devil's bargain. Nope.
Not great.
Bad information.
Ouch.
Yeah. But you still get something. What was the main thing you wanted again?
I just want to know what her motivation is here. What she's, if I could know what's the importance of the document, what's in the documents, that'd be great. But I feel like on a 3, I'm not going to get anything that specific.
Yeah. Well, she just sort of has the usual kind of half smile on. She's very interested in the information you offer up about the door, about your faction and whatnot. I think the only part she answers is, why would she kill Scorpion Syndicate people to get a Ministry of Discovery briefcase? And she says, state secrets are worth any price, and Scorpion Syndicate are smugglers. Everybody knows that. Criminals. No harm in a few broken eggs.
I say when the government persecutes everybody just for living their lives, you have to be a criminal just to find any justice in this world. And that's where I think we can cut back to me being like, she doesn't care about me. She's totally happy to murder me because she's totally happy to murder anyone else. Like, none of these people matter to her. So I am. Yeah, doing very Judd's in the chat right now said Point Break vibes. That's exactly the feeling I have. Is I am trying to make my way over to the parachute while keeping hold of the briefcase.
And you've got the gun. Are you?
I feel like the gun flew out of my hand.
Okay,
I feel
that
like
makes
the
sense.
gun is maybe I feel like when she tackled me, it was like a choice of which one to hold on to, and I went with. I grabbed the briefcase in both hands and the gun went flying, and maybe it's free falling now too, but someone might be able to grab it.
And so you're not specifically doing anything about her for now. You're focused on getting a parachute.
I mean, while this seems like a terrible idea, yes, that is my
Okay, great. This is definitely an action roll. I think. What action are you?
I feel like it's prowl. It's physical athleticism, trying to get to the parachute, put it on, I'm obviously keeping her in my sight. So if she pulls out a gun and shoots me, you know, I mean, not that I could dodge. I'm flying through the air, but you know, maybe I could put the briefcase in front of me or something like that. You know. So yeah,
you're prowling through the air, literally. That's...
I'm literally prowling through the air. Yeah. This feels controlled, right? This.
I don't actually think it's desperate yet.
You totally control. You got
maybe
this.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the next thing you do will be desperate, but I feel like for now it's still just risky. And standard effect. I mean, yeah, the parachutes aren't that far away. You could, with the success, you can probably get one.
Yeah, it feels reasonable. I don't have any particularly great devil's bargains in mind, but this seems important, so I'm gonna go ahead and push myself for an extra die.
Okay. Do you have no stress so far?
I have no stress up at this point. Yeah.
Wow, that's. Don't look at mine.
I also just marked my last XP for doing a. I don't know. Do you mark XP for 0 actions in the moment?
No. Mark it in the moment and put it wherever you want.
Okay, then I filled up my resolve track.
Well, that was quick.
So I'm going to clear that. Not that this matters, but I'm going to clear that and take a dot in sway, just in case I have to make a sway roll in a moment.
Mid-air sway, yeah.
All right, yeah, mid-air sway. Please don't shoot me. Prowl, risky, standard, 1 bonus die from pushing.
Look at that, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she is trying to grab onto. I think she does grab. What's Hollis wearing? Are you wearing like a jacket or
a scarf?
Scarf. Well, yeah, she grabs your scarf.
Thing is the scarf that's fluttering behind me right now. Yeah, the scarf. I think the scarf was first like in my face, and then and then it's behind me, fluttering in the back. Yeah, I think that's quite easy to grab hold of.
Nice. Before you get to the parachute, she grabs the scarf and goes to like pull you back towards her in the air. How does Hollis get out of that situation?
I think I haven't gotten the parachute yet, so I still have one hand free. I think I I think if she grabs it, it starts cinching around my neck, and I just I remember being garroted at some point, like someone snuck up behind me in the dagger aisles, and I think we have like a flashback to Hollis having somebody in the jungle, somebody with a cord around his throat as he's struggling and fights and pulls it off, and we see her fly away for a second as she's got the scarf, but I slipped out of it.
Nice. And you grab the parachute, you start putting it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you're putting it on, as you say, she kind of flies away. Obviously, you're about to pull the cord, at which point you'll go, relatively speaking, you'll go flying up and she'll go flying down.
Yeah.
So before that happens, she shouts over to you. She sees she's been bested. She shouts over to you and says, keep the kettle warm, Hollis. Never know when I'll drop in. And she touches her cufflinks and a weird psychedelic portal opens up beneath her and she slips through it and the portal disappears and she's gone.
What?
You're left.
See, I'll buy that, but I will not believe that they could have had a conversation midair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the amount of noise from us falling is not huge, right? We're not shooting. There's no machines going on right now. So yeah, I believe that I caught most of that.
She's got great projection. Yeah.
And her voice too.
Yeah, that's right. And you pull the cord, presumably.
Yeah. I was gonna wait if she was still, because in case she had a gun that she's gonna pull or something like that. But if she disappears, I think Hollis looks dumbfounded for a moment, and then, oh shit, pulls the cord.
You have the briefcase. You pull the cord, and you start gently floating down in the freezing Dosfall night towards White Crown below. Speaking of which, let's cut to the others. The elevator dings and opens up onto a very nice underground parking garage. It opens out onto a lawn. This is like a sort of mansion lair type situation. There's no one down here. There's room for 20 autopods. but I think there's 3 here right now. They're all very nice. They're probably
where's mine?
What did you park yours here? You probably did, right?
Yeah, I drove mine here. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. It's right there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
There it is. Right where you left it. Unfortunately, this is before like the beep boop key fob thing. As the doors open and you run out, you hear those goons kicking the access panel at the top of the elevator down, and they're about to drop down. What are you two doing?
I shoot it up to just buy us a couple seconds of time.
Oh no, so you're just going to try and like hold them off, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What action are you taking for that?
That's a good question. What action do you take for just kind of wildly shooting?
Skirmish?
I feel like it could be skirmish. Yeah. I mean, skirmish is actually, I think, specifically skirmish is combat, close combat, assault, or hold position. Brawl and wrestle. Yeah, it's actually very applicable for holding position.
Yeah,
Okay.
Especially if this is as you run out of the elevator.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of firing some shots behind us to keep them from jumping down just yet while we get a car. Yeah, I'll roll skirmish.
Great. Is Kitty helping?
I not in this sense, like situation of like shooting, but running ahead and getting the cars like, turned on and ready to go. The autopod, getting the autopod turned on and ready to go, and like just like doing Fast and Furious style, like.
Yeah, I think that helps because that's like this action is that whole sequence basically. So I think that definitely helps.
All right, so stress for that.
One stress for that, and 1 bonus die. Is Cross pushing herself, or do you want a Devil's Bargain?
No, I'm good.
How have you not used stress? How? Okay, you've used one. Don't think of my stress.
Yeah, no one. It's just the only stress. That makes sense though.
Yeah.
The other two are just not bothered. It's just another Tuesday.
No, we just bottle it up.
That's where it belongs, deep inside our cold hearts.
And Kitty just worried everything. She's like shit, and she's like running and like trying to like fumble with her keys to like. Is it like it's not a boop boop? It's more like it's actual keys.
Yeah,
You think, or
for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so is it risky standard?
Desperate, because you're in that desperate position from that failed roll before.
Desperate. Okay.
So desperate standard. So mark XP wherever you want.
Sweet. I'll do that after I roll. Desperate.
And two bonus die.
2 bonus dice.
Well, Kitty's helping, and you pushed yourself. Did you? No.
I did not.
Oh, do you want Devil's Bargain?
I'm curious what it would be.
You
You know what? I'll push myself because I feel like we're getting nearish to the end of the score, and I can always wind down. So yeah, I'll push. Okay. All right. So we're at desperate, standard, 2 bonus dice.
Ooh, look at these rolls. Nice.
I know. We just keep pulling it out.
Yeah. What does it look like as you give this covering fire, and what's the sequence?
Oh gosh. I mean, I think Cross is, kind of staying there, and again, just kind of firing into the elevator to keep them from jumping down, while Kitty is trying to get the car, and then presumably Kitty's gonna pull up, and Cross will, kind of jump in, and we'll drive off. So she's kind of desperately, like firing and then waiting as long as she possibly can before firing again, because I don't know how many bullets are in this gun. So she's not just like clicking until it's empty. And so I think that she's actually like counting the seconds between each one.
Fun.
And you can just see her very focused as she fires, and then like counts to 6 or something and then fires again.
And this is a leading question, but when you get in the autopod, is there a cool bit where like Kitty like pulls up and you have to slide over the bonnet to get in the other side?
I hope so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And Kitty's like, "You're messing up the wax."
Yeah, that'll leave a mark.
Cool.
And you go screaming out of the garage. It's not locked or anything. Obviously, you drove in here before. You're out onto this sort of expansive driveway out the front of this sort of modernist mansion in White Crown. you hear like alarms behind you and people are running, but they didn't actually have anyone other than those two people who jumped down the elevator. They didn't have anyone in the garage, so there's no immediate chase, but you do hear engines starting, and obviously they're getting something going. You also see up in the sky, you see the airship that you know that Hollis was on. It's over White Crown, and Hindenburg style, you start to see the whole thing. Like the explosions were in the, what do you call the bottom part of an airship? Like the main, the hull, I guess. Yeah. But now the whole balloon part just goes up in flames and the whole thing explodes.
I think it's like a really cool, like you see like the reflection of it on the windshield as we're driving away.
Right.
And you see Kitty like looking through it, like and just mouthing "What the fuck" as like she sees it going down.
I think Cross is going to go to her because we all have radio handsets. I don't know what the range is on those.
You're definitely in range now as Hollis is parachuting down. I think.
Yeah, I think she's gonna. Hey, Hollis, you good?
There's a moment pause. You might have to,
He's probably fine.
And then,
yeah, it's totally fine.
And then when it comes back, it's yeah, something blew up the airship.
He's fine.
Oh, I think we've got a better name for the crew.
Oh, can we see him? We got to start driving to where he's going to land.
Yeah, I think that's totally feasible.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's not going to go straight down because the chute's going to kind of like with the wind. So I feel like we're going to be driving and like try to navigate.
Well, he's going to the left now. Okay, I'm just going to start driving that way now.
Is this Scorpion Syndicate's like tier 4 or something like that? Is this the kind of parachute that has like little hang glider handles where you can kind of direct it, or is it just you jump?
Yeah, tier 4. I feel like they've got cool like handle stuff going on. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, they've got the good.
They got those good parachutes.
They got those good parachutes. Yeah. So if that's the case, if we realize like we're in proximity, I'm gonna start steering in the direction so that we can, meet up so that we can.
And if there's one thing we know about
where I'll be going.
Perfect. If there's one thing we know about Kitty's autopod is that it's built for impressing. So I feel like you can see it.
Yeah.
It's
like
bright
red. yeah, exactly.
Do I see also a car, a chase car coming behind, or is that?
Yeah, from up there you start to see a few of these vans pulling up. Still some distance away. You also see quite a few blue coat autopod lights and sirens. That's probably more generalized. You can assume like there's been a big airship explosion over White Crown, so there's like a general sort of state of emergency. It's unlikely that Chago and the Scorpion Syndicate called the cops.
Yeah,
given their whole business, but there's sort of a general state of emergency on for sure.
Yeah. So I'll keep going. I'll meet up with you at the turn. You got bogeys on your 6.
What's a bogey?
What's that?
We talked about this.
Okay. That's she just looks over her shoulder. She's like, oh, that's what it is. And like sees him behind.
Should we tell our muscle to do anything?
Well, I was going to say this is a 2-seat autopod, right? So how's Hollis going to fit in?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to land on the roof. Don't worry.
Okay.
You dare stretch it by Scarlet?
Hanging on the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm not getting in the car.
Just don't dent the car.
The car.
Yeah, perfect. I feel like we can fast forward to that. So you're hanging off the back now? On the front?
I think I land on the hood, and like the window, I assume, is rolled down, right? Like,
is this convertible? I've been picturing a convertible.
It's convertible.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
so you can just like hang on the
back.
Yeah, so I'm grabbing like hold of like the back of like the headrest or something like that, and I jam the the briefcase like in between the seats.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the mechanical bits into my car, and I thought Kitty was going to start crying.
No. And then I think this has to take a split second. So feel free. I'm happy to make an action roll for this. But as the Scorpion Syndicate, vans are trying to intercept, I pull the release on the parachute. So the parachute's as soon as I land, the parachute's going to yank me right off because like it's going to pick up air and pull away. So as soon as I land, the goal is to shove the briefcase in between the seats and then let go of the parachute so it flies behind me and hits the van.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That does sound like an action, but it also sounds awesome. What action?
Thank you.
What action are you using?
Oh, Jesus. What action does it take to fling a parachute at somebody? Looking at hunt a target, gather information about its location, attack with precision shooting from a distance. Maybe skirmish. I'm gonna go with hunt. I think I'm waiting right for the moment where we're coming around a corner, and I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop it just the right time so that right as they come around the corner, it lands in front of them.
Yeah,
I think this is an odd form of precision ranged combat, but
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So just to set the scene, we've got this red 2-seat autopod screaming through the night, freezing winds, top down, Hollis hanging off the back of the seat. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
About to release the parachute. This pastel blue Scorpion Syndicate van speeding up behind you, headlights in your eyes.
Sorry, I forgot. Lost the scarf.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get you a new one.
Should have taken it off though. Yeah.
Is anyone helping? I feel like, well, yeah, you say.
I think with my driving, I'm helping.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, don't take the court. You got to time it, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have stress to spare for that?
that was my next, like, for my almost
I
last
know.
one. Like, not
You
last
don't
one, but like
know
my
your
next
stress.
to last one. So like I got one left before
Okay, great.
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
that's
trauma
great.
out. It's
You deadlock a key.
yeah, did like a key.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
it's like, I'm not there yet.
It's a short campaign.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Literally
Like,
driving it
got
like
'em.
I would say stolen car, but this is my car, so I'm driving it like my car
yeah.
through the streets of Dust Bowl.
Let's
I can give you the heat devil's bag now if you want, because the blue coats everywhere. So someone, there's like you're coming through an intersection, there are blue coat autopods coming the opposite way.
Oh yeah, I like that. I think
they got the plates or whatever.
Yeah, I think the specific way in which it helps the I know there's a lot of like ridiculous timing, but I feel like this is like action movie appropriate. I think we wait for the landing and everything until right as we're going around a corner when a blue coat is coming the other direction, and so their headlights blind the syndicate for a moment.
Oh, fun.
So that once they see the clear, that's when the parachute hits it. So yeah, so
Perfect.
we're intentionally doing it in front of the blue coats so that they can blind them for a devil's bargain. Yeah,
Love that. I'll just give you one heat. I think.
Happy to take it. All right, so Kitty, you are helping. Great.
With one of my sick driving skills.
What's position and effect here?
It feels risky to me. Don't know if you're still in a desperate position. Feels risky.
Sounds great.
Risky standard. I mean, it'll happen.
Risky standard sounds great.
2 bonus die.
Risky standard, 2 bonus die. Whew. Just barely. Hey, all them dice, and we got 1-4.
Oh,
I think that was Kitty. Going, cranking the wheel at the right moment.
Yeah, great. I mean, so as you described, I mean, I guess the first thing to say is that it works. It hits the windscreen, it wraps around. There's like the screech of tires, and they go breaking off as they hit the brakes. I think the main thing that happens is this takes longer for you to get the timing right than you would like, and these goons are like leaning out the window of the van and peppering you with like machine gun fire.
Yeah.
So that was risky. Yeah. So level 2 harm on Hollis here. I guess just shot. I don't know if you want something more descriptive. Strafed, grazed.
It's okay. I think shot's a great level 2 harm, but I have military discipline, and twice per season you may use your training to eliminate harm from an attack in combat. I have one.
Nice.
Love that left.
Nice.
And I think the way that looks is as we're trying to get the timing just right. I see in Kitty's rear view mirror as I'm holding onto the back of Cross's headrest. I see in Kitty's rear view mirror them come out with the gun, and like I shove the briefcase into the seats, and I yank it back out, and turn, and like the briefcase takes a bullet instead of me, and then and then shove it back in and proceed with the thing.
Yeah, so that van, brakes on, goes screeching back. That blocks the van behind it, which like rear ends it with a significant crash, and the blue coat autopods start descending on that whole traffic mess. And you are free to make your way out of White Crown and across the bridge, and on your way back south through Doskville towards Night Market, where you have your base. It wasn't even really a score. Because it was meant to just be a sort of meet and greet, but whatever that was, mission complete, I guess.
We did it.
Yeah, I think as they pull up, Kitty's just like white knuckling the thing, like it comes to a skid, and she's just white knuckling the steering wheel, just like hyperventilating a little bit.
That did not go as planned.
Oof.
No, not at all.
No.
Look at this dress; it's ruined, and I'm cold.
Kitty, let's take a look at that. Hollis is the combat medic. That's his job. You've got a big kitty scratch on your.
Yeah. She like up on her shoulder, across the way.
Yeah. So I think in the moment, if you would permit it in the back of your of
what
Scarlet,
if
the back of Scarlet, there's some.
It's the 2-seater.
Well, yeah, it's, in the glove compartment box of Scarlet, there's like the most basic of the most basic first aid kits. There's at least
where did that come from?
At least I put it there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got like a little pop-out minibar, but you've replaced some of the bottles with.
It was a minibar that had like silver disco S lining.
Yeah.
Along the whole round, yeah.
Hollis filled it with practical supplies.
Yeah.
I was using those.
I'm so glad. I'm so sorry that the gin had to take out the gin instead of and have antibiotics, but this is gonna sting. But you'll be better. Just clean the wound, basic stuff to make sure the skin infected.
And I think in the background of this, because that was sort of a nighttime score, and so there's this fake blue time, and when it shuts down and turns on, there's like a psychedelic sort of twilight as the bubble kind of turns on to daytime, and so that effect is coming in with this kind of psychedelic swirl of colors in the bubble overhead, kind of purples and blues and yellows, almost like a tie-dye effect, kind of lighting you up as you make your way back to Night Market. And there is just one more thing before we get into the aftermath of payout and heat and whatnot, because as it currently stands, there is no payout because that wasn't a real score. But I think there is an opportunity for one. And so when you get back to the base, so that do you park the autopod, the luxury autopod? I think we had a discussion about whether there was like a parking spot,
a garage behind
a garage or something.
Yeah.
Huckleberries. Yeah,
because she's not parking on the street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you got your spot there.
Wait, oh my God, where's Charisse? Don't you need? Where are our people?
Well, that's a good question. Where were they?
Yeah,
I'd asked about that. I think we just probably radioed them and told them to meet us back at the base.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we had sort of narratively been leaving them in limbo so that they could appear as needed. But I think that this was not something we thought was a score. We just thought this was like a show and tell and a meet and greet. So I'm guessing that they just weren't active. They could have been if we had needed them. But I feel like
kind of like the idea they were just parked up somewhere in the van, like shooting the shit all night, just in case they get radioed. But and so, that van pulls up at the same time because presumably you told them that, false alarm or whatever, all sorted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not false alarm, but, I kind of like the idea that to access your base, you have to go through the Chuckleberries. Like every time. So you make your way through
the kitchen.
Yeah, through the kitchen.
Yeah.
Up. There's no like elevators, just up some stairs, and up to Cross's office, which again has the like rotating fan and the Venetian blinds and all that. The psychedelic light of twilight coming in with the slanted light, and sitting at your desk, smoking a cigarette, is your crew contact Eves, who's the palace handler. Who do you think? Why do you have this palace contact? How did this relationship come about? So as a crew contact, she's like, this is like a positive relationship, I guess. She's I forget how it's described in the book, but this is someone you can
a close contact, friend, lover, favored contact.
Yeah. Why did we go with Eves?
Oh boy.
it does seem useful.
Oh! I remember. Eves is a member of the palace who is sympathetic to us and who slips us information.
Yeah, that's right.
Who like lets slip info to us when possible.
Yeah,
so I think
which makes a lot of sense. So, which of you? How do you have this connection? Like, is this a army thing from Hollis, or through Kitty's dad somehow, or something else?
Maybe Cross's contact.
One of Cross's contacts.
Yeah, that makes sense as a journalist and private eye. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, Eves is behind the desk, and she is, well, I actually looked this up. So I'm imagining Lauren Bacall in Murder on the Orient Express. She was 52 in that movie.
Ooh.
I got a picture on the board.
Oh, nice.
So she's dressed just like this. She's got lots of jewelry and, flowy clothes and a sort of a skivvy situation, high neck. And she is smoking a cigarette. Does Cross have an ashtray on her desk?
Yeah, there's an ashtray.
All right, great. Just good to know.
It's like from one of the local casinos. She definitely like stole it. Everyone steals ashtrays. It's like
it's marketing. They know
everyone steals the ashtrays. They expect you to steal the ashtrays.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not even stealing.
Yeah. And there are just ashtrays everywhere. So
yeah, I thought it was going to be a Chuckleberries one, honestly.
Oh, that would be good too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's like a ton of like Chuckleberries, like takeout bags in the trash.
And you come in, and she doesn't apologize for being there, but says, if it isn't the Dosfall direct war.
So, Eves, thanks for bringing that up. Not sure why you're here, but I have a thought. I think Dustfall Association Against the AA. Hear me out. Duskers or Duskfallians, whichever you like, against war crimes. DOC. TAWC.
Say that again.
I don't hate that.
Try it out. Duskers against war crimes.
Is that even the right term for us? Duskers?
Yeah, that's what people call it.
Is it?
Duskfallians, if you like it, Kitty.
And she's like flopping on the couch, just like trying to be gentle on her shoulder and trying to like.
Are you just standing there? Does anyone take a seat?
She, like I said, she's flopping on the couch.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
How about the rest of you?
I think Hollis will go and sit down. If Eves is sitting in what is normally Cross's chair, I assume, so that she can have that like kind of grandiose like greeting us. Yeah, Hollis like sits down on the like client side of the desk and grabs a cigarette out of the packet and lights up and sort of is looking to Eves like, it's fine that she's here, but like what's she doing?
As you say that, she pulls out a little notebook and a pencil, and she looks around and says, so DAWC, that's, you're all agreed on that?
For now, I guess.
She
it's
nods.
A work in progress.
Yeah.
She nods. It makes
we might change it, but for now, yeah.
Nods and makes a note and says, I'll try to remember next time. Look, I can't stay long, but we do need to talk. Hollis, I understand you had a run-in with a palace agent tonight?
Yeah, you could say that. She did.
Yeah, what happened with that?
Also, why would the airship explode?
Yeah, why did it explode?
I was getting there. She did murder everybody on the airship and blow it up and try to take this little thing. I hold up the briefcase that has the ministry logo with a bullet hole right in the middle of it.
Yeah, field agents, messy. That's why you need people behind desks, she says as she taps the desk. She takes a drag on her cigarette and ashes it out just next to the ashtray on the desk. And she says,
rude.
she says, well, I'm glad you have that. And look, I know you like to do things your way. Maybe you don't trust me entirely. You can keep the briefcase. I just want to photograph the contents. Based on what I've heard, I think we'll both want to stop this project, and I think we should work together on this one. And she reaches under the desk and slams down her own briefcase, and she pops it open, and it's full of money, 6 stacks of cash. And then next to that, she puts a microfilm camera, and she says, "So, what do you say? So let me take some photographs. You keep the briefcase, and you keep the cash."
Hollis looks over his shoulder at Kitty, who's you know, sat down on the couch and then up to Cross. Are you standing? Are you sitting? Or is Cross?
Cross come around to sit kind of leaning back on the desk, but like on the same side that Eve's is. So she's kind of above her and right next to her, kind of like just to loom over. And when she sees her ashing right next to the ashtray, she just kind of very, very obviously takes the ashtray and scooches it over 2 inches towards her.
Nice. Hollis gives a look of like
shrugs, because like we don't even know what's in this thing.
Yeah.
What, we don't even know if we need to keep it secret. We could try to open it without her seeing it first, but like what?
Yeah, I think if no one objects, Hollis just pops it open because I'm curious as to what's inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as you do that, she closes the cash briefcase and sort of slides that over to Hollis on your side of the desk. And as you pop it open, it is full of blueprints and plans. And she picks up the microfilm camera and starts taking photos of each one as she explains and as you see with your own eyes. And she says, it's a top secret Ministry of Discovery initiative. They call it the Blue Raker Project. Prototype airship they're going to fire up, she points up into the wild blue yonder. They call it a rocket ship. Very dangerous, and we've been kept out of it.
You hate being kept out of things, News.
No,
but you like to just let yourself in.
Wait, like up, like up.
That's right. Up.
Like
very dangerous.
What's beyond the bubble?
Well, that's what they hope to find out. But the whole thing, we live in a bubble, and bubbles are fragile. They pop. Not my opinion. It's better not to test it.
What if they had just called it the dome? I don't think that the metaphor would work if we just called it the dome. Domes can be very sturdy.
Still don't want to put a hole in it, though.
No, that's true.
Also, like, what are you gonna find when you get up there?
You also see in these documents that the Imperial military is involved. It's a Ministry of Discovery project, but the military seems to be working on the rocketry angle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that definitely gets Hollis's attention, and he wants to study this to figure out what the military is doing, and hopefully with the aid of Eve's, to explain it, because he doesn't know any of this shit. Like, this is all, like, this is obviously Eve's got the context that he doesn't have.
Cool. Yeah. Why don't you do a study fortune roll?
Nice.
With 1 bonus die from Eve's.
Cool. I got no dots in study.
You get it.
So
XP
mark
right?
mark XP for rolling a 0 action. One of the one of the cool new pieces of tech in Blade 68.
That is pretty cool. That makes it feel like a little better. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, you're like, well, I don't know how many dots it is.
It's giving me something for like not be able to roll well.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't make heads or tails of these.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
basically,
information, you still get info. It's just not good. It's just not great info. You know?
yeah. She takes another drag on the cigarette and then ashes it out in the ashtray that Cross pushed closer to her. Stubs it out. And she looks like she's getting ready to go, but she says, we're not sure on their angle, but that is something we would like to find out and something I think we could work together on. Obviously, rocketry has many uses, whether they just want to learn more about the technology or whether they intend to use the Blue Raker to their own ends, I'm not sure. There is something else. The Lusk Reform Clinic also involved.
Oh, well, now I'm interested.
Yeah. This is only a rumor. We have no proof of it. Again, proof would go a long way if you could find it. As we understand it, there is a team of 4 astronauts who will be sent on this project, and it's secretly planned that they will undergo the Lusk Reform technique prior to launch without their knowledge. So their resonance echo will be stripped out and placed into robotic frames, hulls, robots. The hollowed bodies, devoid of spark and consciousness, will go up in the rocket with the hulls. The bodies will test the effects on a human to see if they survive. And if they don't, the consciousness of the astronauts will still be in the hulls to complete the mission. That's what, as we understand it.
And they haven't agreed to this?
As far as we know, they have no knowledge of that, no.
How do they know that they're going to comply at all once they find out that that's what happened?
She's getting up and gathering her things, and she says, well, as I understand the Lusk Reform technique, that's the beauty of it. Once they're put into the hull, they don't have much choice of what they do or don't do. It's all on program.
Hollis is just sucking hard on the end of his cigarette, just like in disgust of like the horrible things that the military will do.
Yeah.
And in this case, the Ministry of Discovery will do.
Yeah, Kitty's not like in this like the scene like helping them, but hearing her like Eves talk about it, she just like lay on the couch, just like grimacing the whole time, like, "Oh my god, what the fuck? Wow!" She's like making facial expressions in the background.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, do we know which astronauts? Not astronauts. Do we know which people it'll be?
She shakes her head. All top secret. All things I would love to know. And she goes to leave and says, to that end, do stay in touch. And thanks for the photos.
Tell Bane hi for me. Or
how much will you pay for more information?
What's that?
How much will you pay? Because she says, like, we don't know either. You know, how much will you pay for that information if we find it?
Depending on the information, top dollar. Always top dollar.
All right, we'll be in touch.
She nods and leaves. And she agrees to tell Bane, even though she doesn't like Bane.
Yeah, that's okay.
Cool. And that's kind of payout. So the payout from that is 6 stacks of cash. Do you want to pay a tithe to your ward bosses who are the Scorpion Syndicate?
The people that try to kill us? No. At least that's Kitty's. That's Kitty's thought.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
I mean, considering they did it's unclear whether or not why they trapped you and did all that stuff to you. They certainly weren't the ones who blew up the airship. That was all Bane. So
yeah. Well, okay. To be fair, we didn't really pay attention to who was chasing and shooting us.
They wear blue.
We're in
their house.
Yeah,
they have their tiger on us.
I know.
They released gas on us. Oh, by the way, Hollis, there was a big old tiger that was about to eat us, and then
you wanted to keep it, didn't you?
We did.
That was
our first thought, but then I
drugged it. I gave so many drugs. It was out like light.
Hollis like rolls his eyes like he's not at all surprised you had so many drugs on you that you could drug a tiger. Like it's like of course you did. Yeah.
And then they try to gas us, which Cross found this like elevator to like let us out, and so that was really cool.
Let's consider this. I was the only person on the airship that wasn't one of their members that they knew of. Maybe they thought I blew up their airship.
But also, they could have had a conversation with us before trying to have their cat eat our face.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I say we pay it for now and try to mend fences. And if we can't, easy come, easy go. Those stacks just landed in our laps.
I don't know if they'll be happy with us, though.
No, I think we're probably going to have to pay it and maybe explain what happened. But I can tell them.
We also kind of humiliate them a little bit. So, like, I don't know if that will work. Okay, it was a white cat. I had to give it kisses. And, like...
You humiliated them, didn't you? Kidding. You made them look like fools and made them...
What can I say? I'm just, like, so smart.
Well, I think if we don't pay them, we're just going to make things worse.
What's Cross's tiebreaker vote?
Mechanically, what happens if we don't pay?
So there's a 4-step anchor clock. Great question. 4-step anchor clock. And when that's full, then they'll take action. Maybe you get minus faction status, or they take a more drastic action. But for now, there's no immediate drastic consequences. They just get a bit annoyed, which they are already. So it would just be one tick on.
I say we don't pay and ask them what the fuck.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. How many ticks? Am I just putting one tick
Just
on
one. Just one.
One tick on the anchor clock. Okay.
All right. So you get all 6 stacks. Do you want 2 each, or do you want to put some in the crew stash? Or
I feel like the notion of saving money is not one that we have figured out yet. I feel like
yes,
Especially
because we're playing a short round anyway, so there's no point in that.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should each take 2.
Okay.
Like it's not one of those like, oh, for the good of the crew. It's like, yep, we each just grab stacks out of things.
Money, please.
Perfect.
Money, please.
All right. So you should all mark 2 stacks. We should change the crew sheet to a new. Oh, you've already changed it. Great.
Where do
I was trying to write in the notes what I've already forgotten the previous name because I want to
good idea. It was Daw. I remember that.
Daw. It was
Association Against War.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Where do we put?
I just want to keep a running list as we go through.
Yeah.
Where do we put our monies? Like
I added it for you, but if you look next to your harm to the right, there's a thing that says stacks and bank, and you put it in your stacks there.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but
I was like, where? And did you fix it scratched, or am I still scratched?
Still scratched.
Still scratched. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's level 1, that will clear with any sort of like doctor's visit or similar, any kind of medical aid. But we'll get to that in a second. But as part of payout, we'll do rep. So you earn 2 rep per score by default, plus 1 rep per tier of the target. They weren't exactly the target, but you were up against Scorpion Syndicate, who are tier 4. You're tier 0, so that's 6 rep.
Nice.
Usually with a cold open, I kind of like downplay heat and rep and stuff because it's kind of like a mini score. But I feel like because we're doing a short run, we should just put it all on the table, sort of thing.
Sure.
Speaking of which, heat.
I don't know how it wasn't loud and explosive. There was literally an exploding airship.
It literally wasn't loud.
That's what I was thinking.
And a bright red autopod screeching.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I just felt bad because I made that. It's not like you guys made the explosion happen.
No, I mean, but I think Blades is fairly explicit that it says like, is killing involved? It doesn't matter whether we did the killing or not. So I feel like we're taking a metric shit ton of heat because it was loud and explosive and there was killing involved. Everybody on that airship died except for one.
That is very true. Thank you, Sean.
I feel like, and we also took 1 heat for that Devil's Bargain. It's already marked, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. So 4 heat for loud and chaotic. There's also a high profile or well-connected target, so that's plus 1 heat, 5 heat. I don't think the turf was hostile. You're not at war with another faction. Killing was involved, so that is going to be 7 heat. Where does that put you?
Cool. That leaves us with 1 more heat, 1 heat before we hit wanted.
Ooh.
We just filled up our heat track.
It's like me, my stress. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel like that tracks fictionally as well. And then faction status, let's just go with -1 with the Scorpion Syndicate for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I think the Palace stuff.
Oh, did you just mark it, or were they already -1?
They're -1 because of a Devil's Bargain.
Right, but has that already been marked? Like
Yes, that has already been marked.
Oh,
They started
okay,
at
good.
0, then
Okay.
-1 for the DB, and then now -1 again to -2.
Oh,
So we're at -2. Okay.
Yeah, it should be at
that's fine.
-2.
Everything's fine.
But that's fine. I will say, as you kind of alluded to, this is kind of a misunderstanding, and I think there are various ways to bring that back up, and it doesn't have to be a big deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
In
it's not like you actually did anything awful to them. So
yeah, that's
we can
convincing them that that's true. That's
exactly.
That's gonna be the tricky part. Yep.
And so now, as we move from crew business, which is the score and the aftermath and all that, we move into personal business, which is like downtime and free play. So in between, we're going to do an unwind scene, which is another Blade 68 thing. So an unwind scene is your whole crew just like blowing off steam after that score, as you kind of go about, enter back into your regular lives. So this could be, I've got a whole list. Maybe I'll put this in the chat so you can.
What's the what page is it on? I was going to pull it up.
That is on page 135. PDF page 142 or 135 by the page numbers, if that makes sense. Oh, maybe go back one. Oh no, there it is. You got it. Yeah, so you could go fishing, you could go to an art gallery, do some karaoke, you could have some group therapy, you could have a big argument, go bar hopping, go to the bar, group meditation, see a concert, have your fortunes told, get matching tattoos, attend a protest or rally, go stargazing, trip together, play a friendly sports match. The sky's the limit. Usually we go around and take turns on who wants to suggest what the unwind scene is, but because we're just doing probably one downtime, I don't know if you all just want to agree on something.
Yeah, I feel like Kitty and Hollis would just be like, let's go get hammered at the bar and go dancing. So it's got to come down to Cross to be like, decide if that's what she wants or if we're going to do something else.
I think Cross wants to eat. Cross wants to go down to
Chuckleberries.
Go down to Chuckleberries and order something.
Nice, I love it.
So I can see us sitting there. With her big ass dog Duke eating. She's like feeding him nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. What's the shot of the others if Cross is there feeding nuggets to Duke? What are Hollis and Kitty like at this family Chuckleberries visit?
I feel like it's booth seating, so we're like, in the bench. Cross has got one side because you've got Duke at the end, right?
Yeah. And I think Kitty's in the inside because Hollis does not like sitting in against the wall at all ever. And so Kitty's stuck in the against the wall on that booth.
There's a terrifying animatronic band in the background playing like a bad cover.
God.
Just staring at it the whole time.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Mr. Emperor.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Love it.
Are Cagney and Jag with us?
Good question.
No.
Kayla was one of them.
Kayla, thank you.
Kayla and Jag, I think.
Yeah. Do we how in the crew are Kayla and Jag? Are they just?
Well, they're like college students too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Established. So I think that they also have other things that they do, but are more just able to mobilize when we ask them.
Yeah.
It'd be quite funny if Jag works here.
Yeah, that'd be.
I love it. Jag's bringing the plates of.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that's how we can afford to eat here all the time.
Yeah, and that's why you're allowed to walk through at any hour. And
wasn't there something that where I'm trying to find it on the cruise sheet where it said they're loyal, but they're
Yeah, if you go to the cruise sheet upper right hand corner. It says they are elite, which we know.
They're hedonistic. That's what the other.
Yeah. Loyal and hedonistic.
They party.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. I was like, oh, maybe they're already off partying at this point.
Yeah.
Awesome, love it. So you all clear one stress. from your little unwind.
Yeah, I think Kitty did not want to have fries, and then like she sees fries off of Hollis's plate, and she just starts stealing like one after the other.
Nice.
Yeah, and the fries here are good fries.
I think this is a pattern. Kitty, they ask, "What do you want?" Hollis says, "I'll have fries." Kitty's like, "None for me," and then Kitty eats half of Hollis's. I think this is, I love it.
Great. So just a couple of other things we'll do. Let's add a ticking time bomb to the board. So a ticking time bomb is like a background situation. It's basically a clock, but it ticks up basically once per sort of personal business phase or crew business. So once per sort of cycle. It's 10 steps. And there's different ones. This one is called Countdown to Ignition, and it's that whole Blue Raker situation. So when this clock is filled, and I'm going to tick it once now, the Blue Raker launch happens. And at that point, depending on how things have gone up to then, everything will change one way or another.
Yeah.
There are various factions interested in the Blue Raker project, and who knows what will happen in the end. But it's happening. I will say with the ticking time bomb, so it's just a background situation. How much you care about it or engage with it is totally up to you. Sometimes it's like the main thing that the crew is kind of dealing with, and sometimes it's just like a background thing that you don't really care about. And either is totally fine. It's not like the it's not like the story of the campaign.
I feel like in our case, it is relevant. It's our big hook into what the Lost Reform Clinic is doing right now. So it does seem, if we were playing a longer term game, maybe we'd be like, oh, we'll check that out or not. But I'm down with, our next score being about that and being like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah. That feels like
100.
It's totally compelling to us. So
and since we're just setting this up, I just want to ask a few like character questions. So Cross, who does Cross know who was recently shook down by the Bluecoats, who are looking for that missing briefcase? It could be friend or rival or just someone else entirely. You can make up a character if you want.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Who do you know who was recently like shook down by the Bluecoats in the street? They were looking for that briefcase.
That was looking for this briefcase that we just got?
Like this. So basically there are like a whole bunch of Bluecoats out, and they're just shaking down everyone trying to find that briefcase.
God, who do I know?
you can look at your contact list. See
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'll pick from my shady friends. I think that Mira, the nightclub owner, often gets Bluecoats coming in to try to get information, but this was a little more like on the street, not like oh, we're gonna raid you, but maybe we won't if you pay us some money.
Yeah, love that. And the Bluecoats did let slip that they're looking for a Ministry of Discovery briefcase. So you know that whatever this information is, it's a big deal, and that in fact I'm going to add an ongoing trouble to the board immediately. So there's a little card here now. So trouble is a bit like entanglement and blades, and some of them are ongoing, so they're just going to stick around until, well, either the fiction says that they're not there, or you deal with them either with a score or a long-term project, or it's kind of open-ended how you get rid of ongoing trouble. But in this case, the ongoing trouble is called patrols, and the Bluecoats frequently patrolling Night Market, and in fact the rest of the city, and they're looking for their briefcase. So whether that turns into an issue or not, who knows, but that's kind of a situation going on.
Is that crew trouble or local trouble?
There's local trouble.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not
especially attached to us per se. It's just shit going on.
It could be if they learn that you have it, but at the moment they don't know that. So sort of in between. And with Kitty, this is kind of a big picture one, but what's something fundamental about the world that she wishes she could change somehow? Like, obviously this is quite there's a lot of like weird, dark things about the world, like this eternal night outside of the city and the Deathlands, and the fact that every city is in a bubble and you can't really leave the cities.
I mean, probably better transit. Like if, her mom's from the Dagger Isles. And so like, she would love to like visit one day, but it's probably going to be impossible
Hmm.
to leave Dustfall, honestly.
So
Let
like
alone
ending
travel
the
down
whole-
there. Yeah.
Yeah, are there still rails that go to Dustfall to Dagger
Yeah.
House anymore? Yeah.
Yeah. There is one, but you're right. It's highly controlled and difficult, and you probably have to be quite wealthy to travel freely. And just the fact that there's no like every city is a bubble, and so you don't. There would definitely be less travel, right? Like there's no you can't just get in.
Better public transit just across the country.
Always
What
good.
What a noble goal.
Yeah. I like that. And finally, Hollis, who's someone you're fond of in one way or another who currently works as a test pilot for the Ministry of Discovery? And Hollis doesn't know this, but that person is one of these Blue Explorer teams, one of these astronauts who's going to go up.
Ooh. It's funny because I was going to ask Tripty, my hit woman contact, if she knew anything about this. So I'm kind of inclined to say it's her. I don't know why a hit woman would be a good test pilot, but I
guess her background could be.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to switch that up because I'm struggling with that idea. So I'm going to switch it up to Brackley, a deserter. I think Brackley was given a second chance after leaving and getting caught. And this was you can do time or you can be one of our test subjects in this. And so presumably a test pilot is someone with like lots of skill and training. You don't want to invest that into someone who is someone who doesn't have it. So I think Brackley was like an airship pilot before, so training him as a rocket pilot or as a he already had some knowledge, but yeah, this was the go to Iron Hook or go outside the bubble. So,
yeah, and I think there is a desperation to this. Like it's not like the real world moon launch where there's sort of like this is top secret, no one's going to know about it. The first 4 Blue Rakers all blew up, so you're probably going to die. So there is kind of like the idea that it was someone who's sort of forced into it kind of makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
How does Hollis know Brackley? Are they just in the same unit, or?
Oh yeah, I think Brackley was in the same unit, and after that fateful day where we lost wow, why am I forgetting Darrow and Marley, I think, but I'm getting those names wrong. Where we lost folks, he just Brackley just like that. It was a horror show. It was terrible, and he deserted after that.
Love it.
And I think we've connected a couple times since I've gotten back from tour of duty, and I think there was a weird tension of like, was it right to desert because war is wrong and you shouldn't participate in it, or was it wrong to desert because you're abandoning your siblings in arms? And I think that had some weird,
for sure,
tension between us.
I think you had mentioned how Hollis isn't comfortable around other veterans, right? So that would
exactly,
also,
yeah, he doesn't really like hanging out with other vets.
Yep. Cool. I think so. In between crew business and personal business, there's the trouble engine, which is kind of like entanglements and blades. I was thinking I could just run through that now quickly, and then we could take a break and then do personal business. Does that sound right?
That sounds great.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. So I actually usually do the trouble engine offline, but I'll do it here live.
Ooh, doing it live.
So step 1 is to update faction clocks, which I'll skip. That is something we're just playing a short series, so it's not too relevant. But each faction has their own like personal clocks and projects, and part of this is to update those. So the next step is to check for crew troubles. these are troubles specifically targeted at the crew. Often they're like blue coat law related, but they don't have to be. So on the little table here, there's 3 columns divided by heat. So you are at heat 6+. So I'm going to roll on the maximum column and then roll dice equal to your wanted level. So that's the good news, is your wanted level is 0. So I'm going to roll 2 dice and take the lowest. And that is a 2. So on a 2, it is light trouble. So then I'm just going to roll randomly for this. I could pick just based on what's happened, but I think it'd be fun to roll randomly. So that's going to be the first column, and then a 6 is the maximum one. So I got patrols again, so I'm going to re-roll that because you've already got patrols. And can't get it twice. Where's my roll 20? All right, we'll do that again. 2 and 4. So first column is the 1 to 3, and then the 4 is asking around. Someone is asking around about you. So this is less of the patrol thing and more like an investigator or someone from one of these, it could be an inspector, a blue coat's sort of affiliated inspector trying to put together a case, or it could be someone from one of these factions that you've aggrieved who's asking around about you. But I'll just make a note about that for myself, and that might come into play during personal business. And then so that's the crew trouble, and then I'll roll for local trouble. So these are kind of local district city trouble. They're not specifically targeted at your crew, but they kind of make your life more difficult. So I'm going to roll a bunch of dice. You start with 2D for luck, and then do you have a negative faction status or positive with a local district? You have neither right now. There's no war, so that doesn't come into play. There's no particular faction clocks relevant. And you haven't got involved in local issues recently, so that doesn't factor in either. So I think it's just going to be a straight 2d6 roll, and I will take the highest. And that is a 5, which is none, but I'll take minus 1d because you want to roll high on this one. I'll take minus 1d next time. So next time there's more likely to be some local trouble, but for now, no local trouble. And then the last step is escalations to see if ongoing trouble escalates. So that's why ongoing trouble is kind of something you want to get rid of, because eventually it will escalate into bigger trouble or into more trouble. So it kind of snowballs. But you skip it the first time you run the trouble engine. So I will skip that for now. And that is trouble. So we'll get into what someone asking around means during personal business. But otherwise, why don't we take a break and then we'll come back and do downtime activities and stuff.
Sounds good. All right. Let's come back at 8:10 my time, whatever time that is. 10 or 8 or 8:12. Sorry.
The 10.
10 minutes. At 10. Okay, we'll come back at 8 minutes. That's great. We'll come back at the 10 after the hour. See you all in 8 minutes. Bye.
Cool.